What's up, everybody? Fet Collections here, and man, oh man, am I happy. Today we're reviewing my all-time favorite Decepticon, Soundwave. Now, I pre-ordered this guy back in July or June, I'm pretty sure it was July, and I barely got him last week. So after a couple of months of waiting on pre-order, I have him in my hands, and I am super happy. I have the mini, I think they're called Commander Class Soundwaves, and it comes with one little cassette, but it doesn't transform. So I'm finally happy to have a actual scale Soundwave to put with my other Transformers. Now, Soundwave first appeared in 1984. Whether that was the cartoon or the comic, I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't really find which came first. There was a lot of conflicting reports. But Soundwave, he transforms into a micro cassette recorder, and that's fitting for his character because he's the communications head or a spy master for the Decepticons. Looking at the box, you get Rumble. He's just sort of like one of the henchmen that just works for him. And these are all the minicons that come out of his chest. You got Ravage. Now, Ravage is a spy that Soundwave likes to send out a lot. So Ravage gets a lot of information for Soundwave. And this is Buzzsaw. Now, Buzzsaw is a clone of Laserbeak. But the cool thing about Buzzsaw is when he kills an Autobot, he makes art out of their bodies, and that's pretty insane. Taking a look at the box, you get this weird like plastic window view. I mean, it's okay, but someone could just come and steal the parts out of the figure. That's why I'm glad I got this one online. You get a nice image of Soundwave in his robot mode. You get a back of what the minicons and Soundwave transform into. And yes, that is crazy. This year, Transformers turned 40. One of my all-time favorite franchises. Been a fan for my whole life, basically. But, without talking about this guy for any longer, let's go ahead and get him open. Now, after getting Soundwave out of the packaging, I can say I'm really happy with how he feels and looks. There's a couple of stress marks, it looks like, but nothing too serious. A couple of little scratches and paint smudges here and there. But the minicons are really detailed for how small they are, and they're pretty well articulated for being that small. Soundwave, I'm loving the paint on Soundwave. I do kind of wish that the gray was more of a silver, but it's not too bad. It looks like the cartoon. The only other thing I noticed that's kind of off is his visor is this translucent red. I don't know if you can see it like at the top of his head, but you can't really tell his eyes are red unless you shine a light or like have a light directly in his face. So I might see if I can get an alternate head for him or something. But this guy came with a lot of accessories, and I'm really happy with all the stuff he came with. Weapons, the accessories for the minicons, just everything about this figure is great so far. And I can say with confidence, this might be the best Transformer I own. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into his accessories. Now, for the accessories part of Soundwave, it's a bit odd because although these are little figures and they come with accessories, they're technically accessories in themselves because they all fit in Soundwave's chest. Not at the same time, but they do transform into cassette tapes, so it's a bit debatable. But up first we got Rumble. Now, he has some pretty good articulation for how small he is. He has no torso articulation, no foot rotation of any sort. Head can move 360 and can go up and down like that, but nothing too crazy. Now, Rumble came with his two guns, and they just attach onto his wrists. So you'll just put him in that hole right there, and they just fit into there. Yeah, he came with two of them. But then he also comes with these. I'm not too sure what these are called, but basically what he does is he'll have his arms transform into these, and he'll slam the ground, and it basically shakes the ground and like makes his opponents fall. Up next, we got Buzzsaw. Really no articulation with him. His head can kind of move like up and down and stuff, but other than that, really nothing else. He's still pretty cool though. I like the details on him, and the paint's pretty nice. Then you get Soundwave's two guns. Now, this one is the one he actually holds, and what's cool about this is I'm pretty sure they did this for when it transforms, but if I can get it. Doing this one-handed, sorry. But yeah, it turns into his, I think it's a psionic blaster. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, there's one of the QC issues I was talking about. Nothing too big, it's not bad, but it definitely is there and it's noticeable. Then you have his mounted shoulder gun. Sorry. This is like a minigun of sorts. Not bad. I wish there was a little detail on the inside of the barrel so it looks like, I don't know, it actually shoots, I guess. And then you have this. Now, I'm not too sure what this is yet. This is kind of like a live unboxing, if you will. But it unfolds into that. So I'm pretty sure it just becomes a part of... You know what this is? I think this is Soundwave's antenna. For when he turns in... Okay, yeah, that's pretty sick. And then you get Ravage. Now, unlike the Studio Series 1, that was the Commander class, I believe, this one doesn't have a tail and not a whole lot of accessories. Looks a little odd, but nothing too bad. Some pretty nice paint detail as well. But that's about it for the accessories, so let's go ahead and move on to the articulation. Now, onto the articulation for Soundwave. It's a bit odd just because he can transform, so the head can't really look up or down. But if I move this piece on his back, I can move his head up more, but it has like this little piece right here, so it looks kind of weird. His arms can rotate 360. He kind of has butterfly joints if you want to count that, but I mean that looks kind of ugly. They can go up that much, they go that much in. You do get a bicep swivel though, which is really nice. And you get double jointed elbows. The hands cannot rotate at all, unfortunately. They only go in like that. You get a torso twist, no ab crunch. I guess you can kind of bend him forward because of his legs. His legs can go out that much. He can kick that high. He can kick that much back. You get an upper thigh cut, which is also surprising. Single jointed knees. You can't really move the feet up or down. You just get that little movement, but he does have some nice ankle pivot, I guess. So yeah, articulation isn't too bad, but because he transforms, I'm gonna excuse it. So let's move on to his transformation. And here is Soundwave's cassette mode in all its beauty. Now the back is not much of a sight to see, you can tell it's a transformer, but the front is pretty amazing. It looks like a Walkman, which is pretty sick. This is why Soundwave is one of my favorite transformers. His whole thing is like music and recording, and he's just a very synthetic character, and I used the wrong word, sorry, synthesized character. He talks like a synthesizer, so it's really cool, and I'm really glad they were able to capture this. I'm not too sure if this is a new figure or a re-release, but either way I'm happy and it's new to me. But let's get this guy re-transformed and let's do some size comparisons. Now for some size comparisons, here is Soundwave next to the retro-carded Marvel Legends symbiote Spider-Man, the McFarlane Commando Spawn from Mortal Kombat 11. Up next is the Goku Black SH Figuarts, the NECA Apex Predator, and finally, Soundwave's most hated ally, Shockwave. This is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Shockwave, so he doesn't exactly look like G1, but he's essentially the G1 design. So, final thoughts? Hands down my favorite Transformer I own. With not even close. I love Optimus Prime, I love Bumblebee, but this guy takes the cake easily. The mini-cons really do it for me. It's the fact that he can transform into a cassette tape, and the stop motion possibilities are endless. That's all I'm gonna say. I love the paint detail. I love all the little sculpt details. Like, even the stuff that's not painted, it looks like little wires and screws and nuts and bolts and stuff. And there's a pretty good amount of accessories. And the play features are pretty cool too. The transforming and putting things into his chest and whatnot. And it's just, he has shelf presence. I think, yeah, he would definitely stand out of all the Transformers I own if I put them all on shelves. Actually, that might not be true because I do have the DeLorean and the Ghostbuster Transformers and the Ninja Turtle. But anyways, that's besides the point. I really love this Transformer. I think this is easily number one in my collection. But what do I give him? On the scale, plugging him in, I think I'm going to give him a 10. Soundwave is definitely a 10. And of course, there's no Zelda approved anymore because she just doesn't, want to do it. So I'll think of another section to put here for the figures. But I definitely recommend this if you love Transformers. If you're a fan of Soundwave, for sure get this. If you just think it looks cool, why not get it? Now, it may be hard to find, and that's why I pre-ordered it. But I think this is a really solid Transformer, and I also think this is a solid action figure. Now, the community's a bit weird on whether or not this classifies as an action figure or not, from what I've seen, so, we'll see what they say. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for all the support. Thank you for helping me pursue my dream, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I got a couple more videos on the way that should be out pretty soon. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So we'll see you in the next one. Peace.